Good takers, welcome back to the first take. Now, 2 days ago, DC did a special DC night on the CW network, and they released the first look, concept images and little snippets of Wonder Woman and rest of the Justice League shit. And I decided, I wasn't gonna check that out because it hadn't officially been posted on YouTube yet. And I've had problems when I've reacted to stuff that wasn't officially already released, even though it was on TV. Yeah, I've got a couple of strikes off of that shit. But so many people have done it now, and why not? And I still haven't watched it. I've held back from seeing it because I was hoping it would get shown up at some point so I could do it properly, but it hasn't. But I thought, fuck it, let's just do this. I'm gonna do them all in one go. So I'm not gonna break it up into the little Justice League bits. I'm just gonna do each little, the Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, and the Wonder Woman footage. Just do it all in one go. So let's just check it out, man, and see. Right, I had to switch t-shirts because it just didn't feel right checking this shit out in a Death Row t-shirt. I had to do the appropriate Batman shit, so let's do it. Start off with the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice footage.
Let's talk about Batman v Superman. It's the dawn of justice because this is the beginning.
Man of Steel introduced Superman, and then Batman v Superman introduces Batman, and we see those two characters face off and collide. But it's not just them that collide, it's their respective worlds. It's Gotham and everything that comes with that.
Today is a... The world needs to know what happened and to know what he stands for.
Superman has made the leap, and now he's out there for everyone to call judgment on.
All this time, been thinking I'm here to do good. Superman was never real.
This means something.
At the end of Man of Steel, Zod was fighting Superman. There was lasers ripping apart buildings and things were blowing up.
Clusterfuck.
Bruce Wayne blames Superman.
So explain for those that don't know, why are these two titans fighting?
Well, you gotta remember, this is the first time Superman ever meets Batman. Batman knows Superman was involved with something that had fire come down from the sky and destroy Metropolis.
There are a number of different ways that we've evolved, both Batman and Bruce Wayne in this movie. He's older, darker, more world-weary.
He has the power to wipe out the entire human race. All I have to destroy him.
Yes.
Superman sees Batman as a criminal, brutal and unforgiving. This Bat vigilante is like a one-man reign of terror. You don't get to decide what the right thing is. Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
And then you got Lex Luthor.
The big cornerstone bad guy. Lex appeared early in Superman's career. Back then he had red hair. So the movie takes inspiration from the comics. But you'll see a modern-day take on Luthor that spins him into something new. What he's doing, what he's manipulating, he becomes a different kind of adversary for Superman and Batman.
I love bringing people together. How are we?
Lex.
Hi, hello, Lex. It is a pleasure. Ow! Wow, that is a good grip. You should not pick a fight with this person. Lex feels competitive with Bruce Wayne. He's learned everything about him. Lex hates Superman. Learned everything about him.
Kind of the puppet master, kind of controlling these two heroes, forcing them into conflict.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
Batman vs. Superman begins to set the stage for Justice League when all of these heroes come together and fight as a single unit.
Wonder Woman.
She with you?
I thought she was with you.
Doesn't really show you a whole lot more. It really just kind of really goes over everything we've already seen, kind of things that we already thought. Doesn't reveal anything necessarily. I guess it just gets a little bit deeper into Lex, the fact that he really is trying to manipulate this whole thing, but we kind of already figured that, pulling the strings. There's been recent reports that Bizarro could be in addition to friggin' Doomsday, as far as the big threats in this movie. It just seems that there's so much in this. I'm really curious to just see how they place these chess pieces together and to make it just one cohesive unit, and for it to still truly be just a Superman Batman movie and not just everything else with all these bad guys and everything. But you know, I'm not gonna poo-poo on it. I'm at the point now where I just want to see the damn thing. Like, I'm still excited for it, I'm still pumped. So but let's just keep going with this, man. We have a Cyborg featurette for the Justice League part 1. I'm real curious here.
We also have Cyborg.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I know, one of my very favorite characters from the Teen Titans. Victor Stone is an athlete whose father is a scientist. Victor's in a horrible accident, and it's only through his father's talent and skills and technology that he survives. But he survives only because he's built into a cyborg.
Interesting.
Yeah. He is a technopath, which means he can just interface seamlessly with anything technological. His greatest weakness is actually trying not to succumb to the technology, trying to stay human.
Cyborg is plugged in. He's online 24/7. He doesn't sleep. He just takes in data.
Now, in the information age, that character's way more viable, way more interesting.
He's an icon now, just like the rest of them.
Yeah, Cyborg's going to be an interesting sell to the public because people generally don't really know him at all. You know, unless you saw like the Teen Titans cartoon, or you know, you are a follower of the comic books. But what I'm really curious with Cyborg is just seeing how, even though there's concept art now, and I saw that little picture of all of them together, you know, throw up, you kind of get a little glimpse of him, but to get a real clear image of, because that can really make or break a character the way that they design it, because he's one of those characters that's so almost overly designed. All the metal and shit can be kind of made to look too clunky. So let's just hope they can find that balancing ground that really makes it work. I was hoping they might update his origin a little bit. You know, maybe, I don't know why, but even as a kid, I always kind of imagined he was a, you know, like the Universal Soldier sort of story where it's like a Marine who ends up getting blown up or something and then has to be rebuilt. I always preferred that concept over the fact that he was just a, you know, a college football player, American football player. And I thought, why would a American football player end up getting in a situation where he'd end up getting blown apart? This kind of seemed a bit, yeah. But let's move on, man. We got Flash. Not one from the TV.
We got The Flash. The Flash has been awesome on television.
They're crushing it with the Flash
It's been great.
TV show.
This is another Flash, a version in the Justice League universe, the cinematic version of The Flash. Alan, his mother is killed. His father's blamed for it and put in prison. He becomes obsessed with forensic science. He wants to prove that his father was innocent. And one night, working on his mother's case, a bolt of lightning hits him and he gains super speed.
He's been struck by the lightning. That's the mythos. But he's a human.
TV show.
He can run through walls. He can run across water. He can run so fast that he can move into another plane of frequency where there's another reality.
The thing about The Flash is that the past isn't just something he thinks about, it's an actual place he can visit. The Flash has all of time, past and present.
Space-time continuum. How awesome is that?
Even though it was pretty much, you know, common knowledge now that it was going to be Barry Allen in the movie version, I was kind of hoping that they were maybe going to try and take a little different slant on it, but it just kind of sounds like they're following, even though it is the origin of Barry Allen, we've seen it with the show, and the show's done such a good job with that origin story that, do we need to see it again? Sounds like we're going to have to. Just kind of played out again, and I really reckon they should have gone with a different Flash, because there've been a good few of them. Yeah, we'll see whether they can make theirs stand out, because the show has done so much better than anyone really expected it. Even me, you know, even when I liked it and I was enjoying it when it started, I didn't think it would be as fun. I think that's the word for it. If you haven't watched the CW Flash show, it's a fun show. You know, it's one of the most fun things to watch on TV right now. It'll be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Let's jump over Aquaman. This is gonna be one of their hardest sells. But actually, I think people have been warming up to it because Jason Momoa. Everyone loves Jason Momoa.
With Justice League, you've really started to lay a foundation for a pretty expansive world when it comes to.
Well, first we got Aquaman. His name is Arthur Curry. He's the son of a lighthouse keeper and the Queen of Atlantis. And he starts to develop these powers. He can breathe underwater. He can communicate with sea life. He's very strong.
He's the only one that's both. He's human and he's a god. I want to see him struggle with the fact that he has these powers and doesn't know how to handle them, that he hasn't been trained.
He grows up not really feeling like he belongs in either world. So he's a man who's trapped between worlds, but has a responsibility of protecting both of them.
What is it? 3/4 of the world is covered by water? That's his domain. One of the last mysteries left in this world is what's below.
Absolutely. And so what else is down there? Aquaman knows.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Leviathans. If by the way you lot can hear screaming, that's my lovely neighbours having an argument. I don't know whether it's picking up on the camera, but yeah, motherfuckers. But anyway, yeah, I was kind of hoping, I guess it would have been cool to see an Aquaman that was born of his world. You know, there's been various different origins for Aquaman. There's the main one that they referenced, you know, born on land, but not knowing his mother was a goddess from, you know, Atlantis, and him having to discover who he is, like the guy said. But there was also one where he was already born and raised in the ocean. It wasn't a matter of being on land as well. He was always there, and that was one I would have kind of preferred to kind of see, one who he really was part of his world, and the world outside of the ocean was more the strange thing that he would have to adjust to. But I guess in a way we're going to get that with Wonder Woman, kind of going from her isolation and then coming to the world of man and having to adjust to how people deal with things. But it would have been cool to see how Aquaman would do that. I don't know, this would have been a better thing for that to have been the home he knows best. But, you know, I'm still real curious to see how they do this. And James Wan, who's going to be directing the movie, we got Wonder Woman now. So now we get to see this first footage, and the world is being going crazy.
Wonder Woman's like one of the greatest superheroes out there, but people don't know her origin like they know Superman's origin and Batman's origin.
True.
And so what we want to do in the film is really tell people who she is, where she comes from, and why she does what she does. And we've never seen it on film before.
Cool logo.
She comes from a Greek mythology. She was born on this island of Amazon. It's called Themyscira.
We're gonna see her coming of age, the entire history, what's her mission.
And these Amazons were once created to protect man's world, but they since abandoned it. And Diana is asking constantly, why don't we go do what we were created to do and protect man? And they say because they're not worth it. Ooh. And this takes her on a journey into our world.
Telling a story like this now is pivotal and important. The story of a very powerful woman.
She's an Amazon warrior. She's the best fighter in the DC universe. She has strength and speed, and she's been training her whole life for war.
Ooh.
Wonder Woman has been around for 75 years. Feminist cultural icon.
She stands for equality, and that's really important. I think that's why people love the character.
The greatest thing about Wonder Woman is how good and kind and loving she is, yet none of that negates any of her power.
I have faith, man. I'm willing. I was one of the naysayers. You know, I ain't got a problem admitting it. When Gal Gadot was cast, you know, she's too, you know, she's got a pretty face and all, but she's just too slight. She's too thin. Doesn't really embody Amazonian, you know, in her physique. A lot of people go on, you know, you can't really say that, but you know, we say that about the men as well, whether they're big or small, whether they physically look like it. So I think it's only fair. But at the same time, you know, she is Wonder Woman now. She's been cast. Superman v Batman's in the can, and now this is like midway through production, the Wonder Woman movie. So she is Wonder Woman now. So it's pointless moaning or bitching or whatever. Just kind of just get on board with it. So I'm willing to get on board with it and see what she can do. And that footage actually looks pretty good visually. Like the cinematography in it, they've really done a nice job. And for something that's still in production, so all of that can still get graded, you know, the texture of the image could change quite a bit. I'm curious about the fighting. That's the action sequences. It looks like Patty Jenkins, the director, is really taken from Snyder's playbook with 300 with the slow motion, even with just using the shield, bash it into the guy's chest. Very different from what we've seen from Patty Jenkins. Believe I'm right. I'm thinking of what Patty Jenkins has done before, and I believe she's the director that did Monster with Charlize Theron. you know, good few years back that won Charlize the Oscar. It gives me more faith. Seeing that footage definitely gives me more faith that they kind of, they know the direction they've got the look, the tone seems to be there. I just can't wait for this whole thing to get started. I want to be 5 films into this DC universe. I want to be right into it, man. It just feels like we've been waiting for years. We literally have been for years for just really to get started. And what's it gonna be now? What? How many years since Man of Steel? 3 years? It's too long. It's almost an afterthought. It feels like we haven't even gotten started on it. Speed it up. Which DC movie are you most looking forward to? Beyond Batman v Superman. 'Cause that's too easy. Everyone's looking forward to that. You know, is it Wonder Woman because you've seen it? And what other members of Justice League are you curious about? I don't know. I think Aquaman's the one which I'm most fascinated to see what they do with. You know? And probably The Flash is my least. Not because I have no faith in the fact that it can be good, but the TV show has satisfied me in as far as telling that character's story. So I'm not really hankering for any more outside of that. But, you know, we'll see. Let me know, guys. Write comments down below. You like the video? Please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I am Eddie Reese, and this has been my first take to the whole lot of the whole DC unveil. Oops. CW, Superhero Night, Wonder Woman, Justice League, all of that shit, man. Later, people.